Howdy everyone. Just wanted to get some sort of a review on everything we've done, all the projects we did while we spent our 6 weeks in Florida. We actually spent some time, listed them all out, every individual project, and it was 78 projects. Some really big, some really small. You'll see coming up, but check it out. Check out everything we did. First one was installing a new inline water filter for when we fill up the tank. That way we can have some nice clean water that's not full of all sorts of little flakes of white sulfur that we were getting at our previous spot. We also marked the water tank so we had an idea of how full it was when we looked at it. Very simple, just marked the height so we know how full it was. We also worked on the camera system that Destiny has in the bus. This works also as like a side view mirror, so we rearranged it so that she could see properly. I made a nice little cover for the bookshelf to keep all the books in place while driving. Used some nice fabric. And then we also made a new system to strap down the Berkey so we don't have to completely put it away before driving every time. It can stay right in place and we can have drinkable water whenever we need it. Destiny refreshed the cat scratcher post for the kitties so they can scratch to their heart's content, and it looks nicer now that it's brand new. We also got them a new food bowl so that they would hopefully puke less often. It is working. They do still puke, but not as often as they used to. We also did lots of fire safety stuff. We got fire extinguishers in place and smoke detectors in place. We've got 2 fire extinguishers, 3 smoke detectors. The bus is very safe from fire now. The smoke detectors are also fancy and can connect and tell us if there's an issue even when we're not in the bus, which is good in case we're away and pets are in there. We know we can keep them safe. We discovered that if we were parked on a specific incline, the drawers holding the oven and the stove would slide in on their own. So we did the simplest fix possible. We drilled a little hole and made some little pegs to go in the hole. We stored the pegs in the cute little geese measuring cups, and it just goes in and prevents the door from sliding, so that we can use it to cook even when we're on an angle, and then we can just pull it out and slide everything away like we normally would. We also made a mount for the vacuum parts so they aren't just floating around in the closet. It's a little more convenient. Fixed the door lock so that it would stay shut while Destiny was driving and not fly open at highway speeds. Very important. As previously mentioned, the cats puke quite a bit, so we got brand new sheets, linens, and of course there's an ever-present charcoal. Next thing we did was to work on the gray water tank. We extended the drip hose just to make it easier to empty the gray water tank whenever we need to do that. I also made a nice curtain. We used an old curtain to make this, one of Destiny's old curtains. So we got to upcycle some fabric. It's this nice blue velvety heavy-duty material which helps provide privacy and soundproofing and keep all the air conditioning in the back of the bus where the studio is. And so it's very nice to have that there. Also added some grommets to the UV curtains. Before there were just holes in them, and it was only a matter of time till they frayed and fell apart, so we added some grommets. And this nice UV material keeps the bus cool. It helps prevent all the sunlight and heat from getting in. I also sewed a little cover for Destiny's tip jar for when she's performing. You can clip some nice little signs on it, and it looks pretty. I also made a vest for Cammie. serves a whole bunch of purposes. Has a spot for the GPS to be located, so if she goes off wandering, we know where she is. I also added a little seatbelt buckle, so I can buckle her in the van when we're driving. And there's Velcro, so I can add and swap out patches, and she can be stylish and display my patch collection. In cases where we don't have enough internet connection to stream movies, we can watch them off-grid because both Destiny and I have large movie collections. But in order to get them to play them on the TV, we needed some sort of HDMI. So we set up this system where the cord surreptitiously goes behind the wall, and we can plug the computer on that little table on the steering wheel to watch movies. Bonus points in the comments if you know what movie is playing on the TV right now. This is some fun little hijinks. It's a fun movie, a little obscure. So if you know it, throw it in the comments. Destiny worked on her spice rack, her sneaky spice rack, and she got all the spices into the bottles which fit perfectly, the bottles she had bought just for this, and made custom labels for every single one. So now it's very easy to find what we need, and it's all in one spot. All matches. She also made this cool magnetic folding entrapment device for holding the little spice bottles and still being able to get them and they don't shake totally out of place when driving. We want to be able to mount a tarp on Dolly, but we didn't want to put any more holes into the bus, so we found these cool little magnetic mounts, and here we are doing some testing with them. They actually work quite well. So our plan is to have some poles and get a nicer tarp. This is just the one we were testing with. And then we can just magnet the tarp in place, rope it off, have a nice shaded area, and fold it all up and we're ready to leave. As previously mentioned, we installed 2 monstrous storage boxes in the bus, which involved a lot of very heavy and manual labor. And so here's just a real quick review of how that went. Getting panels cut out, boxes lifted and bolted and drilled and angled around in place. The next big project was running an Ethernet cable across the entire length of the bus. This involved a lot of work, including removing all sorts of panels, building a platform to roll the fridge out onto because the fridge is elevated, so that we could get a wire behind the fridge. It involved squeezing through lots of tight spaces. It's already a narrow hallway, and we just made it even tighter for us to try to get through. Of course, the number one tool when running wires is a wire coat hanger. Came in very handy, as they always do. Now the reason we're doing this is because in the back on the right side of the bus is a router which receives the internet, and in the front on the left side of the bus is a router which broadcasts it. They're in different spots because the reception is best in the back. But it meant that until now, a wire had been run either through the hallway or out a window to the outside of the bus. We didn't want that. We wanted it to run through the walls, but it meant doing all this work of pulling down body panels, moving things around, and running the wire. The wire coat hanger met its end here when it got stuck in the front of the bus, and it lives there forever now. We finished up by installing a camera in the front of the bus, which lets us see Cammie when she's alone in the bus. We call it the Cammie Cam. An important project for me was fixing my parking brake, which until now had a water bottle duct tape underneath it so that I wouldn't get the constant dinging because the brake was just permanently locked in place. Destiny, as you may know, is a musician, so here she is unboxing her new piano. This is the second piano, which is portable with a nice case, which will enable her to play gigs away from the bus and not just in the bus. So here we are practicing getting everything out of the car and set up, organized. There's all sorts of equipment, cords and wires and things that need to be in place so that a performance can function properly and go well. And then, of course, there's the entire opposite process of packing it all up and getting it all to fit in the car in a concise manner. We also worked on some cool little personal projects. Destiny has this really cool commemorative Lord of the Rings goblet from 2001, only at Taco Bell. And it lights up, but the light wasn't working. So I pulled the base apart, cleaned up the rust, put new batteries in it, got it functioning again. And it's really cool. You can put liquids in it and make them light up. And yeah, it's a very cool thing. Destiny also had this really cool globe thing from a toy from her childhood, the Ask Xandar game. It's kind of like a cool magic 8-ball, and you can ask it yes or no questions.
You win! I will now read your fortune.
So go ahead and ask your yes or no question in 3, 2...
Your hopes about this will come true.
I had to fix it because the batteries weren't working, but the way I did it is I got this cool kit where it can be plugged into a USB to get power, and we don't even have to worry about batteries. This when we started learning some Hebrew, the very basics from the alphabet, and what the letters are, what they sound like. We started with this book. And we also did some scanning to downsize our paperwork before hitting the road. Made sure we didn't have bundles of paperwork with us. While I was doing all these sewing projects, I had this nice little sewing setup in the barn. Nice big table and area to work and cut things and sew. Here I am on, I think this is my failed third attempt to make a screen for the band. But I did have some successes. I finalized my poop holder bag, which is very cool. It always has a full bag, full roll of poop bags, so you never have to worry about running out, about it being the last one roll. And it's flush mount. It doesn't dangle like those plastic ones. It sticks nice and tight to the leash. Very easy to refill. I also finalized my dice rolling tray design. It folds up nice and easy, so it's good for travel. And it's all padded and soft, so when you roll the dice, it's nice and quiet, and it contains them from going everywhere. I made myself a shower bag, and it contains everything you could possibly need when you're going to the gym or to shower at a campground somewhere, and you can have everything all contained. It velcros up, rolls up, and is easy to carry all in one concise little package. So as you may know, I picked up an auto harp and had been playing it, but it was pretty old, so I refinished it. It looks much prettier now, and I sewed that custom bag for it myself to hold it in, and planning on getting it all functional again and looking nice. I also taught myself CAD and started designing things. This is the first thing that was in my head and got 3D printed into reality. Put in the comments a guess as to what you think it is. As you had previously seen, we did a very deep clean and reorganization and paring down in the barn in order to make space. We sort of continued that theme with paring everything down. The goal obviously being to have as little as possible while we're traveling on the road. Here's the barn in completion, nice and organized with enough space to be able to sew. Destiny went whole hog on the bus, just totally pulled out everything, reorganized, set aside stuff that she didn't need, and made all sorts of space. And we took all the things we didn't need and brought them to a friend's driveway to be able to do a yard sale. Put all our worldly goods out to display to try and sell as much as we could and donate whatever was left. We didn't sell a ton of stuff, but we did well enough to make it worth our while. Plus, it was just a very beautiful day. It was probably the best weather of all our time before that day, and we enjoyed it. Of course, after purging and downsizing, it was time to reload everything, starting with the fancy new boxes that we installed. So here we are doing some real-life Tetris to fit everything where it needs to go and make sure the lids can close. And look at that beauty. Part of Destiny's downsizing was to make some space for me, so I could have some things in Dolly. Here I am getting my clothes in so that it's more convenient, and they'll be right here in the bus. But we continued packing everything in and away where it needs to go. Look at all the open space that was made here under the bed in Dolly. Of course, we need to find space for all the music equipment for playing gigs, because we decided we didn't want to tow a whole nother car along and we're already bringing the minivan. So I emptied out the entire minivan, and obviously when I built this platform, I built it specifically in mind for this full keyboard and case, which fits perfectly. Destiny was truly amazed at how perfectly that fit in the platform, almost like I built it just for that. We continued to load in all the rest of the music equipment and my stuff and just get everything where it needed to go. I will say, truly amazed to see how much I had in the van. You really don't notice how much will fit and how much stuff you have until it's all pulled out individually and then all needs to go back individually. Here you get a little glimpse of the full spread. Of course, my most important travel buddy comes with me everywhere. Obi-Wan. In order to have Cammy be safe and comfortable in the bus, I made this nice custom net out of good-looking fabric so it would match Dolly's aesthetic. I was not expecting how long it would take and how much fabric. It was over 3 yards of fabric to make that net. Cammy is not very pleased with it, but she does respect the barrier. It's only held in place with snacks, but it holds her from getting in the back of the bus. Also, we tried first just putting her dog bed on top of, this is called the dog house. It's the cover for the engine of the bus. She did not like it. We think maybe because it was not very large and there's different height levels. So anyway, we built this platform to make it a little bit larger and totally flat, and it folds up so we can get it out of the way quite easy, and then we can just set it in place, put her dog bed on top, and she's comfortable on it now. She has a space to be when we're all in the living room. I also sewed a couch cover for Destiny's nice couch. Make sure that Cammy's paws and fur don't get into that nice fabric. So Destiny has 2 cats in the bus. They're her little kitties, and so this has been a process of getting them and Cammy comfortable with each other. Here they are just totally baffled with the net and the very large cat, weird smelling cat that has taken abode in the front of the bus. Here they are doing a stare down. Cammy has been very good and very nice. She's been curious, but has not really done much, and has listened to us when we tell her to leave them alone. Donnie has turned out to be the instigator, and he does not want to be friends with Cammy, and he lets her know quite frequently. We also had Passover, so I did a Passover Seder, which included preparing all the food and leading the service and doing everything. Very grateful that I was able to use Destiny's mom's kitchen to do all the cooking, because there's a lot of cooking involved and timing and getting things just right. And I was very pleased with how it turned out. All the food came out excellent, and the Seder itself went very well. I think everybody enjoyed it, and yeah, it was very fun to do. So, with everything packed up, it's just the last few things before we can hit the road, which includes choosing our route, finding places to stay. This is a picture of all the sites you can stay on Harvest House. We basically stay almost all the time on Harvest House, which is a cool subscription service where you get to stay at all sorts of cool farms and businesses at no charge. We needed to bomb the bus for bugs, which involved covering everything valuable and getting all the pets out. We also needed to bring the kitties to the vet. So here Destiny is sealing Donnie into his little cubby. He likes hanging out there, but it doubles as a cat carrier. So she just puts that little lid on, and then she can carry him right out. Here the kitties are at the vet. They're not very happy about it, but it is important for them. The next thing that we had to do before hitting the road is cleaning off the bus. Where we were staying is what we have not affectionately termed dingleberries. It's all these little dangly leaf tree pod things, literally piles of them, that needed to be cleaned off of everything. And then, of course, all the dirt and grime from months of sitting still needed to get scrubbed and power washed and rinsed and soaked and cleaned off. So check it out. In order to hit the road and be able to communicate while convoying, we got some nice radios. These have a decent range, and it lets us talk to each other when we're on the road if we need to coordinate what's going on, where we need to go. And so stay tuned for the next video, where we will finally be on the road traveling again, seeing new and cool, exciting